Hi, and welcome to Streaming, where gamers, geeks, and hackers get the latest intel on their favorite pastimes. Tanner Day, and probably wondering, it's been kind of gap since our last episode. Well, let me try and sum it up. Technical difficulties, and we're trying to redo the whole thing. If you just noticed, we have a completely new intro, which is unfinished. This is basically the kind of the prototype of it. Adam White's currently working on it. He wants to add a few things to it, and hopefully get back to you again. And all I can do is apologize. If you notice the E3, again, those had to be delayed because of technical difficulties. In fact, the PlayStation 1 was never actually filmed, and the Nintendo press conference was filmed, but due to technical difficulties again, was never completely finished. Okay, so we're here to talk about Halo Reach. The tagline is, from the beginning, you know the end. If you're familiar with the Halo universe, you should already be familiar with Reach and that whole story there. Maybe not the full story. Perhaps if you bought the novel Fall of Reach, then you've pretty much got the story. Of course, they just redid the book, but that's completely another time. Halo Reach, as you know, is a prequel to the first Halo game, Halo Combat Evolved, for the original Xbox. This one came out just today with 3 packages. The normal, which is just the game, the limited, which I have, which we'll take a peek into later, and the legendary, which was a giant bundle, which included what was in the limited, a UNSFC, sorry if I butchered that, duffel bag, and a statue of Noble Team. And okay, so the story is basically, if you're familiar, takes place on Reach, which follows a squad, the Noble Team, a squad of Spartan 2s and 3s on the final days of the planet, as they try to hoard off, as they try to fight off the Covenant. Okay, so what's unique about Reach? Well, Bungie basically redid the entire engine that ran Halo. You know, you have Halos originally used to have like 200 some enemies on screen. They had what's the word I'm looking for? Capability, but they never did. This one has the capability to show 400 enemies on screen, or at least AIs on screen. Another thing unique about it, Forge World. If you're familiar with Halo 3, you know of Sandbox, the level which basically you could take and mold it into whatever you wanted. Basically, Bungie said, well, why don't we make some of this a feature? Because they would see what people would do with it, and they said, well, we'll make it a feature. So now Forge World, which is 7 distinct areas, all in one map. It is the largest Halo map ever. And then you have the already completed structures that you can just put, and the physics you can phase it into the surroundings. Like you can put stuff into the ground, you can phase it into rocks. All of this. It's amazing. The multiplayer at the same time, they've added some old from the original, old school game types, some new ones. Race, Headhunter, which Headhunter is basically Slayer, but you have, when you kill them, you get skulls, you collect them, and you drop them off to get points. And then you did some others I can't think off the top of my head because I'm running on a few hours of sleep, because I went to the midnight release and that was probably the worst thing I ever did. More on that later. Okay, what else we got? This is Bungie's last Halo game. Yes, that's true. This is Bungie's last Halo game. They want to take. It's not that they want to take a break and they're done with it. They said that basically it's Microsoft that's run them dry, and they just want to stop with it. So basically, Microsoft is going to be doing the Halo games. Now that says that Microsoft's got all the rights. I'd rather not think about it. Now, campaign-wise, I haven't touched it yet. I mostly focused on the multiplayer just to get a feel for that. And the multiplayer is fun. It's really fun. Now let's go into some detail. Weapons-wise, we have a new Covenant sniper rifle, which basically combines the original beam rifle with the Sentinel gun. You fire a high-focused beam, and you can use it as a sniper. But mind you, like all Covenant guns, they overheat after so long. So watch yourself. Another one is the, what as I call it, the plasma grenade launcher. What you do is, it's a big gun that you lock onto an enemy. Yes, locking on capabilities of return. Lock on, hold it down. Depending how long you hold it, depends on the number of grenades it fires. So you hold it down long enough, you'll fire 4 grenades. 4 plasma grenades that will shoot and stick to your enemies. And another new gun is the Needler battle rifle, which basically combines the Needler with the carbine. Now, it's basically like the equivalent of the battle rifle, which I'll get to in a minute. There's some changes to that too. Fires the needles, not rapids, a single fire into an enemy. The Needler is also there. Don't fret, the Needler is back and it's just as deadly as ever. But now the human weapons, we have a grenade launcher, standard grenade launcher, which I forgot to mention. The Covenant also have the equivalent of a brute launcher, but it's not a brute launcher, it's more of an elite equivalent. The elite equivalent. Because if you remember, this is now a prequel, so the elites are now still in charge. So the elites are the ones now leading the fight. Yes, we're fighting the elites now instead of a multiplayer. Yay! Alright, now, what else we got? Sorry. Like I said, I'm running on slow steam here. We have also, like I said, the grenade launcher. We have the rocket launcher now has lock-on capability, but it only works, from what I can tell, aerial vehicles. So like Banshees, Hornets, stuff like that. You can only lock onto those. The Spartan lasers made a return. What else we have? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember. Oh, the battle rifle. That's what I want to say. The battle rifle. The battle rifle has been kind of played with a bit. It's now it's a single shot gun, single fire, and it basically the same as the needle rifle. It'll fire, and you know, basically speaks for itself. Grenade-wise, they're pretty much the same. Now modes like Slayer they're still there, but now you have Elite Slayer where everyone's an elite, which yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Weapon-wise, I can't really think of anything new. But the looks of them, they basically look like older versions of From Combat. But since the graphics you're comparing From Combat Evolved to Breach, they look better, but they're supposed to look older. You get my drift. You also have now customization, which is more detailed. You can now pick the helmet and gear on the helmet, both shoulders, standard chest, waist, firefight voices. Firefight has made a return. Still 2-player, unfortunately, but you know, I'm sure people will get through that. And then you have, body effects. Basically stuff that happens when you die. You have, now these are the ones I just seen off the top. These are the first 4. I don't know if you can unlock any more, but these are the first ones I've seen. Ones that is basically a grunt surprise party. You basically die. Hooray! That's basically what happens. And then the second one, when you die, hearts with wings fly out. Do they do anything? I don't know. I haven't seen those yet, because they cost quite a bit. And the points you get for playing online and offline, I believe. I can't be certain. I think it's strictly online. I thought I saw some, gain some, maybe offline, but I can't say for sure, so don't quote me on that. You also, and then the other ones was foul smell would dissipate from your body and cause damage to your opponents. And then the next one up from that was electricity. And basically, you know, you would emit your body would electricity as you would die, which I thought those were kind of cool. Now your firefight voices, they range from all of Noble Team to Sergeant Johnson, Cortana, Master Chief, and Buck from ODST. And these are just voices, they're not the characters themselves. But like I said, I haven't touched Firefight. The only mode I touched was multiplayer and Forge, which with Forge World, you blame me. Come on. Oh, vehicles. The Rocket Warthog has made a appearance. It is, I've yet to fire from it, but it is quite large. I'll say that. It's basically the same as the Carrier Warhawk from 3, except it's got a giant, looks like a anti-aircraft rocket weapon on the back of it. Several Covenant vehicles have also made a return, I believe. A multi-seat Banshee, I can't remember the name for the life of me, is there. And then you have the turrets from the first one. I think the same, but you get my meaning. Well, now let's go ahead and take a peek inside the limited edition. Now, this was $80, so I had no quarrels over it. Okay, it was in an Oni. It's in an Oni black box. You have the game, of course, and then you have basically. It also comes with a special Elite armor, and if you had a launch date purchase, it came with a exclusive Recon helmet. No, this is not the Covenant Recon helmet for Halo 3 in that this is the Recon helmet for Reach. So, okay. Basically, there was a letter in here, but I used it as a bookmark because it is the diary of Catherine E. Hazley. Is that her real name? Yes, Catherine E. Hazley. If you're not familiar with her, she is the basically the mother of the Spartan Project, Spartan 2s and 3s. Crack it open here. I know I'm breaking protocol, but no, they won't be around for another few hundred years. It's a nice book. It basically, as they say, it's supposedly to reveal dark secrets within the Halo universe. And there's all sorts of like mini papers on the inside. It comes with a map of Reach. Let me unfold it here. This is, I believe, yes, this is a map of Reach. Very detailed. Oops. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. If I can fold it up right. And then the back, it contains a bunch of mini papers, like Catherine Hazley's ID card, DNA samples, a patch, I believe a Spartan patch, to put on a jacket. It's just this extensive amount of goodies. See, Catherine Hazley's ID card. It's just incredible detail, and the writings are basically that of her personality. If you've read the novels, then you've pretty much got a good idea of what kind of woman she was. Basically Cortana, because she was also the creator of Cortana, if you didn't know that. And so basically, imagine Cortana in human form, and I'm thinking she was in her 50s? Yes, she was in her 50s. So imagine Cortana, 50 years old, 50-year-old woman. You would have Dr. Catherine Hazley. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and then get started on the campaign, just so, you know, I finally get a feel for it. I know a lot of people are going to go out there who know me from today are going to say, well, why didn't you go straight to bed because you're so tired? Well, I was going to, but I realized that, what's the point? I've got this great game to play. From what I've been hearing, this is definitely going to possibly be a candidate for Game of the Year. I would not be surprised if it did, and we'll hope to see what happens next. If we return to Master Chief or not, who's to say? That's Microsoft's call. So, like I said, sorry for the delay. Hope to get to you sooner. Look for reviews of Metroid Other M, and coming up, we got GoldenEye 007 for the Wii coming out. Donkey Kong Country Returns for the Wii. We have the 3DS coming out next year. I believe it's next year. And so many other great games coming out in the next few months and years. So, this is Tanner Day, on behalf of all of us, telling you to keep on streaming.